Hi everyone, Maria here. Welcome to another installment of our Keeping Up with the Clann podcast. This week we're going to be chatting all things Gaelic for Mothers and Others. I want to welcome two of our Gaelic for Mothers and Others players, Grannie, Hickey and Mary Kate Boyle. Thanks so much for joining in, girls.
No problem.
Going to add a little disclaimer in that none of us have a clue about podcasts, but we're just going to fire on, wing it a little, and just hope somebody's really, really good at editing. So for anybody that doesn't know, Gaelic for Mothers and Others is an initiative that was set up in the club a couple of years back on a 6-week trial. It was run by Conor Lanahan and Arne Nelson, and it was that popular that the club have run it full time now. So it's been going 2 years and it's been going strength to strength. Grannie, you were there from the very, very start. What was it that sort of made you join?
Yeah, I started, it was actually the second week. I had planned to go from the first week, but I did have like slight doubts as at the time I was 37, never played Gaelic, worrying about fitness levels. And I knew that the club, they had obviously been advertising it, for it starting, and I was all planning on going. And I even actually went and bought, a pair of football boots. And then I remember that day just being a bit, I don't really, as much as I would be not a shy person, quite confident, little worries of, not knowing anybody really that well. So I missed the first week. And then I remember speaking to, I think it was Helena Kern. I can't remember, I think it was down the town, or we met her somewhere and she was at it. And it sort of gave me that bit, you know what, I'll go up. So I did, I went up the second week, and pretty much from there. Now I did the first session that I was up, about 10 minutes into it, I pulled a muscle in my calf because obviously I hadn't warmed up properly. I'd done no exercise. That was me out. Connor was very good. He was, rub it this way and put ice on it and everything. But I was fine after a few days and back then. And it was great crack. I really wanted to kind of learn following Gaelic, sort of most of my life. I wanted to learn to play, and it did put me off a little bit on my age. Maybe I'm too old, I shouldn't. But no, I enjoyed it and been there ever since. Obviously you miss the odd session here or there, but it's been a great experience, and I'm so glad that I did it, and I've stuck to it. And I can now toe tap, maybe not great, but we're getting there.
You're fun.
I don't know about that.
Mary Kate, you joined, was it last year you joined? So you're like coming in from like a whole new perspective.
It's the baby.
Yeah, the navy. Well, you're not so much the navy anymore.
I wish.
What made you sort of get into it?
Yeah, so I kind of fell into it by chance, and it's John and Geraldine Aiken's fault. I got to know John through St. Mary's PTA. For some reason he must have thought maybe because I'm from Dublin and know a bit about Gaelic, she'll be good, we'll send her up to the G4MO. Yeah, before I knew it, John had given my number to his wife Geraldine, and it just kind of went from there. She got in touch with me and asked me would I give it a go. I suppose like Grania, I was really nervous and a bit scared. Never played before in my life at all. Fitness levels are okay. They, like everyone else, probably could be better. But I just thought, you know what? I was curious, and Geraldine sold it really well. And she made it sound like it was just a really relaxed, fun, welcoming environment where there are no expectations put on you. It's the very fact that you turn up and you're willing to try. That's all anyone wants. That's all Pete wants. I very quickly learned that that's all the girls want, is really the excitement of having somebody new come in who's just willing to try and give it their best, and most of all have fun. And I think when you strip it down and you think about it like that, why wouldn't you go? Do you know what I mean? Like, life is hard enough where whether you're a mother or not, or you're working or not, whatever your circumstances are, I think bottom line, isn't life really all about just being able to kind of relax, have a bit of fun, make a few friends? And I think for me, that's what it was about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I see we all talk about how social it is, and it's actually one of like the main ethoses of Gaelic for Mums is the social side of it, which I think we've conquered that. Like we're pretty social. But like it is hard. It is hard to make friends as an adult. And I think especially maybe people coming in that are new to the area, and don't have that sort of support network around them. It's great to sort of build friendships and get to know everybody and start to feel like part of the community, I think.
Yeah.
I would agree with you, because I'm not from Banbridge. I'm here maybe 8 or 9 years now, but it's like you don't get to know anyone until you start having kids, and then you're mixing because you're kids and you're going to school and nursery and all that kind of stuff. And funny, my first memory and my first time up at the pitch, I didn't know who anyone was, didn't know what anyone looked like. And I had said to one of my other mum friends, oh, I'm going to go and give this a go. And she said, oh no, my friend does that. I'm going to send her your picture and she'll watch out for you. And it was brilliant, because like that was my introduction, even just to everybody at the pitch. Siobhan came and knocked on my window and she was like, are you Mary Kate? And I was like, yeah. And straight away it was like, get out of the car, come on, we're gonna go and have fun. And I didn't know her. I had no idea who she was, and she just took me under her wing and she minded me. And that wasn't her job to do necessarily, but she did it. And it just straight away from there, I just became immersed in the team, in the ethos of the club. And it was just by that knock on the window. And she didn't take all the fear away. I was still very nervous, and I really do think I shook for the whole hour. But again, it was just that really nice, friendly, tiny touch to just bring me in and make me feel welcome. And I'll be forever in her debt. And I would like to think that, as new people come on board, I'll get the chance to pay it forward and do the same.
Yeah. No, that's so good though. But I think everybody's had their first time. Everybody's been there for the first time, and everybody knows how like it can be nerve-wracking, especially coming up, and especially now with the numbers we have at the minute. There's 30 plus women standing on a pitch and Pete's down in the middle of everybody. It's quite a daunting environment for somebody new to come down. We've all been there, like everybody's had their first day, so it's good to sort of have somebody that you can, people would message the Facebook page and I'll say, look, I'll meet you in the car park and go down. So they're not walking down their own. So it sort of eliminates that a wee bit.
I think people are near, the more worry for people is because it's like playing a sport, and probably a sport they've never played before. And it's that, anticipation of, I maybe don't know and I'll not be good. But with us, like, it doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter your fitness level, any of that there. It's like we come in all, like there's girls who've played before, there's girls who maybe have never ever played, there's girls who pick it up far quicker, there's people who are fast, there's people who are slow like myself, but it doesn't matter. Everybody just pushes everybody on, encourages everybody. But I do think that's a lot of people's kind of reason for worry of starting the Gaelic Mums and others, is because I think they're afraid, because it is sort of over 25 plus, people are kind of afraid, that am I going to be fit enough? I've never played it before. And I think it's just really getting across to people that really doesn't matter. I mean, we have training sessions, as you know, Maria, where Pete has the whole lot, like the ladder set out and the runs. But the best crack is the likes of the time that I got caught up in the ladder and just went flying over. The time that Emma tried a bunny hop, when we were all laughing at the way she bunny hopped. But it's not mocking each other. It's just having a laugh and a bit of crack. So it doesn't matter what what you don't know, if you're fast, if you're fit. That's what I like about it. You can go out there and you can actually feel confident. I mean, sure, whenever we play games, look how much everybody encourages everybody and everyone's buzzing after it. Even if you get one touch of the ball, it's like, yes, I touched that ball, I kicked it up that field.
Do you know what? I was actually thinking the other day, and it was whenever I was doing the photographs for the Facebook page, and it came up with the photo, our very first match ever, and it was Newry Bosco. And
Oh,
I
was that the one with rain?
rained all day, and I think it was my birthday the night before, so I had a few too many the night before. Was feeling a little bit delicate, and a couple of the old girls had been out with me, so we weren't the freshest bunch on the pitch, like, and we never scored a point all day.
Maria, don't tell people that.
But it wasn't even like we never scored 1 point, but that we had the best days crack, and everybody had a laugh. We're all soaked to the bone. We all went after and got nibbles and drinks and stuff, and it was the best day. And even still, I still look back at that day and be like, do you know what, that was the best wee day. And it didn't matter that we didn't score, nobody scored a point, like, it was just the fun.
So that's what it's all about, just participating and the wee blitzes, like, the wee tournaments, and like, sure, we now have games every second. Well, we were obviously before lockdown and COVID and all, but it's you just buzz for them. Like, you've seen yourself, like, do you remember the team that we played? And I can't remember, was it at a blitz or a game, and they all came on. I'm not going to say the team just in case, but they all came on, and they were a bit older, like probably in their 50s. And I remember turning around and going, sure, not worry, we'll be grand, we'll hammer them. Oh my word, once that whistle went, it was like boom, 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 just at us. And we were like, oh my word, we thought we'd be landed there because they're all in their 50s. No, doesn't, so it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter what age you are, get up and get involved and just have fun. That's your hour and a half a week. You can get fit, you can learn a sport, you can make new friends. But it's definitely, it's the best decision I ever made was joining it. And I have no regrets of it whatsoever. The only regret I have probably is that I didn't sort of take up Gaelic when I was younger, because I love it so much.
Do you know what, Grannie? I absolutely agree with you, because where I grew up in Dublin in the late 80s, early 90s, there was no opportunity for girls to play Gaelic. Our local club was Coola, and they've a fantastic reputation for the boys, but it was disappointing. There was nothing for girls. So for me, it was kind of the Irish dancing route, and sport was never really considered until I made it into secondary school. But I think it's important to note that I think that's where Clann is at such an advantage to have Pete. Pete's our coach on the Gaelic for Mothers and Others, and I think the work that he has done and the amount of time that he has invested into opening up the club for girls is absolutely fantastic. He has really done everything in his power to create an encouraging and nurturing environment for the girls. They're fully capable now of coming in and doing anything that the boys can do. And I think it's a testament to him and his strength of character that, number one, he has the patience to work with us. He probably gets more out of the little kids. But, I think he's a master craftsman. There's nobody better in the field in terms of how to get the best out of people, but especially out of girls. And he's a genius. I think he's a magician, because the very fact that, as Gráinne was saying, and yourself, Maria, as well, some of us, when we first went onto that pitch, couldn't even run the length of ourselves. And after a couple of weeks with Pete, and I think that sense of two-way respect and appreciation that's shown between us and him and vice versa, it automatically makes you want to do better and to achieve more. He has a very natural way of kind of bringing out your competitive side, but all the while keeping it extremely positive, very, very encouraging, very supportive, and most of all, with a lot of laughs and giggles. I think we're incredibly lucky, and I'm excited for my own daughter. She had one session with Maria and Pete before the last lockdown, and she's only 4, and she keeps asking, when can I go back to football? So I think if she had one session with Pete and Maria, and that's the impact that it has had on her, how lucky are our kids? You know, they're so fortunate. I think it's an advantage for us.
Yeah, no, I agree with you say about Pete. Like he's just so encouraging all the time. And when he sees, you know, I know me personally, I lacking confidence, you know, on the field type thing. I mainly do goals now because of my lack of confidence. But there's times I've said, you know, I might go out halfway through the game, and he'll come over and he'll say, you know, at the wee breaks, do you want to go out? He'll be grand, pats you on the back, and he praises you. And you maybe have done crap, you know, but it always just makes you feel so good about yourself and makes you feel that you have the ability to do it. Stop running yourself down. You know, it's one thing about him. Obviously, he coaches my daughter as well. And I can see a difference, you know, from her playing with, you know, when she was playing the underage boys until she got into girls. Both Maria and Pete, you know, you see potential in them. And like he kind of sort of like a one-on-one. They take they deal with every child individually, you know, and let them know where they shine and different things like that. I just couldn't praise Pete and Maria both enough for everything that they've done, you know, for the club, for girls, and also just for getting Gaelic for girls into the club. You know, it wouldn't have happened without them. And I think they deserve more praise for that. They need to be recognised for that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think my going back to my first night on the pitch with all of you, and I'm trying really hard to convey how I felt. And really the big thing that's coming across for me is I felt like it was a privilege and an honor to be welcomed into the training session. I didn't take anything for granted. I knew I wasn't sure if I could even catch a ball at that stage. But I appreciated the fact that somebody was willing to give me a shot. So I remember at the end of the session, waiting for them to get the ambulance for me, going up to Pete, firstly saying, look, you know, Pete, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this. And he kind of, anyone that knows Pete, he kind of started this half smile, grin. And then I said to him, and second of all, I just really want to apologize. I'm really, really sorry. And straight away, he looked me in the eye and he was like, stop. You don't apologize. No one ever has to say sorry here. You turned up, you gave it your best. And he's like, we're going to see you next week, aren't we? And I was like, yep, you are. But that, again, that sense of kindness and patience and understanding had a profound impact on me. And within those couple of minutes, I knew, yeah, I'm coming back next week. Like, apart from really enjoying it and meeting the most lovely people in the world, just to kind of get that sense of reassurance and confirmation from the boss, yeah, you're coming back next week. I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Nobody was fantastic. And then I'm fairly certain I collapsed in a heap. I can't remember much after that, but I did. I came back and haven't stopped since. So
no, he does. He is the patience of an absolute saint. Anybody that can stand in the middle of a pitch amongst 30 plus women and get them all to do the same thing it's magical. Like,
but the medal.
Yeah, definitely.
Maria as well. I think it's really on a more serious note. I think we need to really highlight the value of Pete in terms of being not just a coach, but he's a mentor, he's a facilitator, he's a friend. I think all of us now on the team at this point would consider Pete to be a friend above all else. And I think it's really important to highlight, and I'm sorry if you're going to cover it, but the support that he has shown us throughout the pandemic and the fact that he contacted us. I don't know if you want to talk about it, because I might get a bit emotional, but yeah.
Pete had put a wee message into the chat. Now our group chat, we have a group chat, and as you can imagine, with 30 women, sometimes it sort of blows up a wee bit. But no, he put a message into the chat and just wished everybody well and was really, really supportive and really nice. And I think a lot of the girls, myself included, really appreciated it and really needed to hear it. And I think he understood that, you know, as mums, as, you know, daughters, as everything else that we are outside of the pitch, you know, that there was somebody there for us, because I think women do tend to sort of take everything on and, you know, help everybody else out. But I think it was nice for him to say, look, yous need an outlet as well, so, you know, here if you need me, sort of a thing. And a lot of the girls, everybody was just really needed to hear it, and I think it was brilliant. And it sort of elaborates on that feel of, well, it's not just a Gaelic team, like, it's a family. We are family, and everybody's only ever a phone call away.
Yeah, especially going through these hard times, you know, everybody's struggling in their own ways. And you know, that the message that he put up, you know, was just so genuine. It was from the heart. He meant every word. You know, you could see it, and you could see by the response of the girls how everybody was so touched by it. And I think that just goes to show, you know, the type of person that he is. He's not just, you know, oh, I'm not seeing you girls, you're not on the pitch, sure, I'll see you when this is over. You know, he's always been in touch. You know, sure, the whole thing, you know, like you've been doing, he got the, what is it, on a Thursday night? I personally don't do it, but yous are doing like a Zoom like fitness class, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, he's got the young underage girls now, you know, the under 14s. They now on a Tuesday night, you know, he's constantly sort of kept in touch, try to keep everybody engaged, you know, with doing certain sports, you know, like not sports, but, you know, doing sort of fitness. And remember, he put up like a program, you know, for you to follow. The younger one, I know Megan, for example, has followed it, you know, like just maybe like running on the spot for 30 minutes, doing star jumps, take a wee break, you know, even yourself, Maria, you know, everything that you did, all the wee competitions, you know, that gave children something to do every week, something to look forward to, wee praise, you know, to lift their confidence if they want it, you know, just partaking in it. You know, I think that's very important, even as a club, you know, that everyone has been kept engaged as a club the whole way through this pandemic, you know, and like the little videos. And you know, I think it's like, it's a real community, it's a family. That's how I see it. It's like a big family.
Absolutely. And I would echo what you're saying again, I suppose, as like a fresh set of eyes and a new perspective into the club. I'm a year into it, and it's just been absolutely incredible, the sense of community support. Everybody's there to build you up. Nobody has any intention of tearing you down. And again, I think to really put a special emphasis on the situation that we're all in at the moment in terms of this pandemic and lockdowns and restrictions and isolation. At no point from my time within Clann have I ever felt alone or isolated, or that I couldn't pick up my phone and text or call someone and say, do you know what, I need help, or I'm struggling, or even down to me and my college work. You know, I've texted or contacted Pete privately to say, look, I need help with this. I need to kind of get a bit of perspective on this. I need to get a few signatures, or I need to compile some data. Is this okay? And again, you know, going back to him, the answer has always been yes. What can we do to help? And that comes from him, you know, it comes from the top down. It's that sense of, you know, we're here for you, you know, we're with you. You're not doing this on your own. We're going to cheer you on. If you fall, we're going to pick you up. And I think if we could bottle this sense of camaraderie and community, passion, crack and support, COVID would have been gone long ago. Clann would have kicked COVID's butt. And I mean that so seriously, because I see it myself from the, you know, the boys teams that I'm involved in, you know, the under sevens. Again, like there's Daryl, he does this on his own free time. He's constantly texting the parents, keeping in touch, encouraging the kids, whether it's competitions or programs. You know, it's the club just is relentless. It does not stop. And it's fantastic. I think it needs to be celebrated more.
It is. It's hard. I think everybody has been through the absolute ringer this year. And I think as a club, it's sort of important to make sure that every single one of the members know that they're not on their own. You know, there's always somebody there. There's always somebody to reach out to. You know, there's always somebody, even the Facebook page, there's always somebody at the other end of the Facebook page. There's bound to be like millions of Clann chats, because I know I have about 30 of them on my phone alone. So, you know, there's always somebody there somewhere.
It's a very close knit club, you know, Clann is. That's what I've always found about it. You know, obviously over the years, you know, I wasn't probably involved with it as much as I am now through the Gaelic CMOs and others, but like when Ryan started, Ryan didn't start till he was late, so he was like under 12s. But even when he was playing, you know, when I was maybe working weekends, and it was actually Sean McGarry and Mickey Mallon was taking Ryan then, and you know, he was only getting to know the game. He was always a football player, and then someone said, you know, get him up. And I found, you know, as I say, working the weekends, maybe couldn't take him to a match or a blitz, and you sort of felt bad, and you know, but it was just no lift. But straight away, the amount of times, you know, that they were like, yeah, no problem, I lift them, the coach. Sometimes run to McDonald's on the way home. You know, there's just a connection there with them all the coaches that are out there in, as I say, in the club for the different age groups. You know, there's like a personal connection, you know, and they all get to know the kids on a personal level, and with the parents, like the community with the parents is unreal. You know, when you go to the games and you're chatting away, and that's what I really love about the Gaelic as a sport, is very like a close-knit community. But I think Clann definitely has to outshine it. It really, really does.
Yeah, like I love the social side of it. Like I think we have more nights out than we have like matches, you know, to be fair. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And it's so good. Like, I know there's times where obviously pre-COVID, but you know, if you were sitting on a Saturday night and I wouldn't mind coming out with the girls, and you just put a wee message in the chat, and before you know it, you've maybe 10 or 12 girls, and everybody's getting ready to go for a bite to eat or whatever it may be. And it is so good to have that sort of friendship network, because even when I first started, I sort of knew people. I think I joined like week 3 or something, and I knew people that were playing, and I knew people that were there, but it wasn't really friendly with them. And now, like, I have some really, really close friends, like people I would consider my best friends on the team. And if it hadn't been for Gaelic mums, that would never have been the case. We would have just kept passing each other and yeah, sort of thing. You know, there would never have been them sort of friendship bonds made.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Absolutely.
What would you sort of say to somebody if somebody was looking to join? What would you say to them?
Me personally, I've probably already covered it. I would say, you know, get up. It doesn't matter your fitness level, doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter if you've ever played any sport, let alone Gaelic before. Come up for the enjoyment of it, to learn, maybe, you know, obviously to learn a sport if you want, for the fitness level, but there's also like the social aspect of it. You know, some people might just want to come up, they want to maybe get their head showered for an hour and a half one night a week, or they might want to get more involved with the club, because as we know, there is, whenever COVID's lifted in all, Maria, you know, we had a barbecue bonanza before, and there was plans to kind of have that as an annual thing, but there will be plans for obviously more fundraising. You know, they can get involved with the community, you know, that way if they want, or if they just want to get fit. You know, don't be afraid, don't be shy, because believe you me, you'll be welcomed with open arms. They'll have such a laugh. I mean, you can see all the girls who've recently started just before COVID with 2 or 3, maybe only got a session or 2, and they're on the group chat now, and they're just buzzing to get back. You know, it's just passing that barrier of maybe having that little bit of, oh, I don't know, you know, I'm not sure, because believe you me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's personally how I feel. You know, just get up and get stuck in. And like, yes, you're learning how to play Gaelic, and I know some people are a wee bit apprehensive about playing matches, you know, but we have a training session, and then, you know, every maybe other week, every 3 weeks, you know, so if you don't want to play in the match, come up and stand on the sidelines, you know, until you get a bit more confident. But I mean, the training sessions are fun. It's not just kicking a ball, catching a ball, that some people I know who I have spoke to up the street have said, oh, I don't know if I'd like that catching. You know, the drills that Pete lays out are fun. They're games. You work in groups. You work, you know, on your own. You know, it's.
Who was it? There was a match we played up at home one time, and somebody had come up to watch, and it was, yeah, you know, come on up, just watch this one, just come on and watch. And I think like in the first 10 minutes we had a jersey on her.
Who was that?
You go, and I can't for the life of me remember who it was.
Oh, you know what? There's actually, like, the way it's in your head, that person, but I just can't.
Was it Mairead? I have a funny feeling it was maybe Mairead. Mairead had come up with the kids. But that's a great thing too. Like at our training sessions and stuff, like there's always a couple of kids knocking about. Everybody, there's no sort of expectation of you coming up to training and being 100% prepared. You know, there's always kids. You know, people have kids with them. They've no babysitters, and you know, in the lighter nights, the kids are down at the other end of the pitch having a bit of kick about. You know, there's people that are maybe running late with work, and it's all fine. You know, there's no, you have to, you know, be 100% prepared for this. You know, we can't have any distractions. Well, it's not like that, and that's not what realistically our lives are like. So
yeah,
you know, I think that's great. But what would you say, Mary Kate, to somebody that was sort of thinking of joining?
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. Just, yeah, like it says in the runners, just do it.
The only regret they'll have is that they didn't do it sooner.
Absolutely, Grannie. Yeah, I think you're dead right. I would say just do it. Don't worry about a thing. I suppose, again, I would be a very self-conscious person, and if I found the strength and the courage to go onto the pitch, I think anybody can. And I remember in my first couple of sessions thinking, oh my God, they're watching me. They're looking at me. These women are really good and they're watching me. And you know what? Yeah, they were watching me and you were watching me, but it was for all the right reasons. You guys saw the little things that I did that in my head were massive achievements. Like I caught the ball, and like inevitably somebody would like put a hand on my shoulder or come up to me and say, great job, you did it, relax. I think everybody could sense the tension and the fear off me, but again, you're overwhelmed by this automatic sense of support and encouragement and guidance. And like I'll never forget one night Lorna Carroll coming up to me and saying, you're running wrong. and like I'm thinking, oh my God, what have I done? They're gonna kick me off the pitch. And she was like, no, go up on your toes. She's like, you'll get better grip on the ground in your boots and you'll be faster. And then she was all, give it a go. And I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna make me do it. She's gonna watch. But you know what? It was, again, it's like that little piece of insider knowledge and a little bit of advice. And she was so lovely. And see, anytime now, even I'm out running on the pitch or we're training or we're in a match, like I would have Lorna in my head sometimes going, get up on your toes. Get up on your toes, right? But it's like, we all need that, especially when you have absolutely no experience. You don't know what you're putting yourself in for. It's to have that person that's going to come up and help you. That's going to take the time to say, do you know what? You're here. You're giving it 100%. I'm going to help you that little bit more now. And that is all I have found throughout my whole experience of being with the club, be it with the Gaelic for Mothers and Others or the kids. It's, without sounding kind of fake or phony or over exaggerated, genuinely you are supported from the time you arrive until the time you leave and thereafter. And it's really special. It's kind of, you can't describe it more than we have, I think, here tonight. And I hope we've conveyed that message, that it's just the right place to be with the right kind of people, right ethos, and you will have no regrets. So please, I would encourage everyone to just do it.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I think we've covered pretty much all the bases. I'm going to ask you one last question, and then we'll round it up. So I want you both to tell me what your favourite memory is of Gaelic for mums, mothers and others.
I have loads of great memories, fun memories, cringy memories, but for me personally, probably a precious memory for me is at the age of, it was, well, before I say that there, it was, we were always borrowing jerseys, you know, the old reserve shoes, jerseys, the seniors' old jerseys, and then finally we got our own, you know, jerseys that Marie, you know, you'd went out and got the sponsorship for, and I think it was a couple of weeks before the underage girls had received theirs. Ours, I think, were coming a little bit late. I think we had to add on for numbers. And I remember that day up at the club, Pete was handing them out, and you'd obviously have to arrange, you know, to promote the sponsorship. We put them on, and Megan, my youngest, who plays for under 12s, she had her wee white jersey on, and it was exact same jerseys. And I just remember standing, there was a couple of mums, you know, who had kids, you know, like there was Helena and her wee one, you, Maria, and we stood for a photograph, just matching jerseys. And it was a really weird feeling. Probably nobody would probably really understand it until you're through it, but just at the age of 39, wearing a jersey the same as your daughters, playing for, you know, obviously two different teams in the same club, to me that was a really special memory, you know, mother and daughter, you know, and like whoever thought at that age you'd be back playing for a team. And personally for me, that was a memory now that I find very, very precious. I know it's probably not directly to do with Gaelic mothers and others, you know, as in, because I couldn't even tell you what there was loads of memories, but just as a mum, probably was Gaelic, I suppose Gaelic mothers and others, as a mum, that was a very special memory for me now. And now sure, most of my selfies and pictures with Megan is now we've got matching half zips, and now we've got matching leggings. It's great.
You're loving life for your camera, taking pictures of everything.
Yeah, it makes me feel young again. But yeah, no, that would probably, I have to say, you know, the fact as well that we got the jerseys, you know, that was a big, you know, we are actually a team. We have our own jerseys, you know, that was a big moment, I have to say, for me personally. Now that's mine.
Yeah, it was a pretty substantial moment, like, because it was the first sort of ladies team within the club. And I think the fact that we finally had our own set of jerseys, and it was sort of cemented that, okay, that's us, you know, we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna play our matches, and you know, we're not going anywhere. This is it for real. You know, this is our wee team. And
I think they were the most talked about jerseys for a long time. Like every club that we went to play was like, where did your jerseys? Like they were just, everyone loved them. You know, they were a good choice, Maria.
Mary Kay, what would you sort of say? You sort of got, like, because you joined last January, we were sort of on and off, weren't we? Because we were in at the start of the year, and then we're off and we're back on again. But what would you say was your sort of favorite memory?
I think it was probably our last match. It was the night we played Clann at home. I remember we had played them away a few weeks beforehand, and they beat us. But you know, there was issues around facilities and the rain and people getting lost. So you know, we didn't have a great night that night. So I think
no toilets?
Yeah, there was no toilet, Grannie.
Oh my word! I always get lumbered with the no toilets.
And, so anyway, then they came and played us at home a couple of weeks later, and again, going back to me being kind of really self-conscious and not maybe having a lot of confidence in my ability on the pitch, like I will go to Pete before the match and say, I'm in defense, haven't I? Like, you're not moving me. Like, that's where I'm going to be. Like, I know that I know where I have to stand. Be near me and like, don't move me. And Pete with his black book is like, yeah, go away, whatever. Yeah, you're in defense. Leave me alone. So that was fine. And, you know, I had my time on the pitch and I played defence and didn't get a lot of time on the ball that night. We played really well as a whole team. But I remember a couple of minutes before the end and we were winning. And all I hear is, Mary Kate, you're going back on. Now, there's 2 Mary Kates on our team. So I was like, what's that? And then I get the knock on the shoulder. No, it's you. You're going back on. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, you're going in as forward. And I don't know if any of you remember this. I leapt up in the air. I was like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And then I was like, no, I can't. And it's like, get out on the pitch. You can't. You can do this. Just go. So I did. And I went out on the pitch and I had a great time. This was my Bernard Brogan moment. I was playing forward. I was on the pitch. Nothing was getting in my way. And I genuinely think I had about 2.5 minutes of that and then the match was over. But I got a touch of the ball. I think I assisted like Charlene or Laura. I was like, I'm on fire. And I came off the pitch. And Pete just looked at me and I was like a little puppy, like jumping up and down going, that's where I want to be. That's my new position. That's where I want to be. It's like, no. Enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it. But you know what? It was such a laugh and it was such a giggle. And again, it's like one of those moments where in my head, this is Croke Park. I am Bernard Brogan. I am just lighting up the pitch. And I wasn't. But you know what? You're made to feel like that. You're given the buzz. You're given the opportunity to have your celebration. You're supported. You're encouraged. The girls all laughed at me. I'm fairly certain Pete told me where to go, but you know what I mean? It's that sense of back and forth and crack, and it was just fantastic. That was my like kind of little moment. So yeah, it was deadly.
It is crazy. I think when you start to think of like all the different, sort of go, right, what's my favorite moment? And there's so much comes to mind. And it's sort of hard to pinpoint it, but they're so good because like Grannie, yours was quite sentimental. And so many people will resonate with that. And then Mary Kate, you're just so lighthearted and all about, you know, how much fun you had that day. So it's good. No, I
you know what it is, Maria? It's like, again, to give people a snapshot into there was me. I had myself like in a little compartment where I can only do defense. Like that's all I've worked on. That's all I know. And then it's like Pete just flicks a switch and sprinkles a bit of magic on you. And then all of a sudden you're just out doing it. And I wasn't given a choice. I wasn't allowed to think about it. It was literally like pushing someone in at the deep end and making them sink or swim. But it's to know that your coach sees your ability when you don't and has that faith in you to know she's going to swim. She's going to go out and do it. And it was just incredible. Again,
just when you light the pitch up.
Yeah.
But just when you're saying that, Mary Kate, like you're right, like the amount of times before a match we're always like maybe a bit nervous and all, but see once that whistle goes, it's just the feeling, you just get stuck in, you have fun. If you don't catch the ball or you don't score a point or you don't make the run for a ball coming out, you know, who cares? You just enjoy it, like every minute of it. You know, when it is like, it's that initial before you go on, it's like, oh no, I'm so nervous. I'm this, she's tall, she's fat, she looks fast,
Yeah.
But it just leaves you. You just go out and you just enjoy it. And that's really just what sums it all up, is enjoyment.
I think I'm the one that like, whenever I get into a fit of laughing, I can't stop. There's no stopping it. And so many times this has happened in the middle of a game where somebody's done something or Lorna's in goals and hasn't a clue where the ball is. And I just be on the pitch, like in kicks of laughter, and can't run, can't move. I'm just standing there, like trying my best not to have an accident. That everything's just happening around me, and I'm just left there in my kicks of laughter.
Maria, you broke your foot in 2 places. You were with gas and air on the pitch, and you were laughing. Like laughing with an ambulance coming for you. It was a cold day, and you were laughing, and it wasn't the gas and air because you were laughing before the ambulance came with the gas and air.
We'll not go too much into that one.
That's probably your favorite memory, is it?
Aye, it is.
Our night out.
I
No, I'm
know.
joking.
I know everybody was buzzing to get to the pub and all that night after our wee match, and I actually remember my mum coming onto the pitch in her all dressed up, ready to go, with high heels and all on, trotting across the pitch. And I just sort of seen her out of the corner of my eye, and I remember turning around to Pete and I was like, Pete, you're in trouble.
It was the shoes, these shoes that probably cost her about £200 or £300, and she just was coming across the muck, and I was like, oh, your shoes. It's
I'm sure that's all the crack of Gaelic for mothers and others. That's what it's all about. It's about having a laugh and not taking yourself too seriously and just enjoying it.
just buzzing for it to get back now.
I know, I think everybody's in the same boat. I think we're all just ready.
Yeah,
But I think whatever we do get back, we'll all appreciate that bit more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with you. Yeah, I think you're right.
I think, Marie, as well, like in terms of our mental health, you know, I think regular exercise has a profound impact on mental health. And again, I think going back to your question a few minutes ago about what would you say to people maybe that are curious about the club or looking to join, I think from a mental health perspective, there's no better decision you will ever make for your health. You know, I think there's lots of scientific research in it to support that, you know, it improves anxiety, depression, it helps you sleep better, it relieves stress, you know, boosts your overall mood. So I think I would like to appeal to anybody that is currently struggling or feeling as though they're not quite right or there's something going on. Yes, come to us for a social aspect, but please come to us from the perspective of maintaining your own mental health, because there's no better way of doing it. You know, as soon as you get out in that pitch and you're running or you're laughing or you're catching the ball or, you know, we're even just standing around having our team talk at the end, every night you're on that pitch, you will take away something different with you. And I think if we can just get that across, that yes, the benefits for your physical health are incredible. You know, you'll see it, you'll notice a difference in yourself within a couple of weeks. I think from a mental health perspective, it's essential. So
Well said, Mary Kate. You're right.
Yeah, I think like I know myself, if I'm having like a bad week at work or, you know, the kids are being extra stressful that week or, you know, there's just stuff going on in the background, as everybody has, you know, everybody has their own wee things going on. And see, when you get up to that pitch on a Tuesday night and it was just, you just left everything at the gate and you just went onto the pitch and you just enjoyed the crack and you just, it was such a good way to clear the head. It really, really was.
Yeah. Great.
So if anybody's thinking of joining, feel free. Send us a wee message on the Facebook page. And all the guards are lovely, promise. But I think that's us. I think we've covered pretty much everything. Girls, I want to thank you so much. I put a message into the group chat. I says, right, who wants to do a podcast? And I was all geared up for one, and none of the girls responded. Now, our group chat is never quiet until I put this message in, and nobody said anything. So actually, I had to text the girls individually. I was like, oh, please.
no, hang on now. I know why I'm here, because I'm on the virtual naughty step. So why is Grannie here?
She was just too nice with a bottle of wine there one night. Or sorry, maybe I had a bottle of wine and me and agreed to it. I don't know.
Whatever way it worked out well. And we've had our bumps trying to get this recorded, but we've got there in the end. I think this is attempt number 3.
Yeah, probably actually 4 with the complications we had at the start of the night.
But we got there, which is another testament to Gaelic mums. Just never give up. Just keep going until you get it. Yeah, so I just want to thank the girls once again for coming on and humouring me for an hour. And thank you all so much for listening, and I'll catch us all again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.